Welcome to the Real and Real Estate Podcast, your go-to show for real estate success. Whether you're an agent aiming to crush it or a buyer or seller wanting the inside scoop, we're here to deliver expert advice, insider tips, and the real talk you need. Each episode, we chat with top industry pros to give you the facts, strategies, and inspiration you need to thrive in this business. Let's dive in and make big moves together. Welcome back to the Real and Real Estate. This time we're going to talk just among ourselves. We're going to talk about buyers and buyers beware, meaning be careful that you do the things you need to do to make sure you're getting the best house for you. And one of the things I want to start talking about today is getting your preliminary pre-approval or pre-certification. This is very important. I know people go, well, I don't want to talk to a lender yet. Let's just look at some houses. Well, sure, we can do that. But chances are you're going to find a house you fall in love with that the lender says you can't afford. So let's not do that to you, okay? You and your partner or your family. If you find something you like and you can't afford it, it's very disappointing. So the first thing is to find a lender that you want to talk to, that you want to work with. I suggest you talk to more than one lender. That doesn't mean you talk to 15, but don't assume the first one you talk to is the one that's going to give you the best deal. And we covered that in a couple of podcasts ago. Some lenders have more opportunities, have different underwriters, have different things available to them that other lenders do not. Some lenders specialize in just luxury homes. Some specialize in down payment assistance. And don't assume that your financial institution is going to give you the best deal. Trust me, you need to shop around a little bit. And if you don't know who to talk to your realtor. Hopefully it's me or one of my agents, but if not, talk to your realtor and they'll be able to recommend a few people for you to talk to. A mortgage broker has a lot more to offer you than oftentimes the financial institutions, such as a bank. But check with everybody, okay? Do your due diligence. It's very important. Another thing I wanted to talk to is about don't ignore the additional costs. Do you think you have enough for a down payment? Wonderful. There are all kinds of down payment options, all the way from 3.5% up to 20% or more. Obviously, lender would love that. And depending on your situation, if you're a veteran, it could be 100% financing. But there are other costs. There are title company costs. If you're using a lender, there will be an appraisal cost, a survey cost, and then anything else that you negotiate. So please keep that in mind. Again, talk to your realtor. They'll be able to help you with that. And so will the lender as well, actually. It's very important that you know the whole picture. Another item on my list was research your neighborhoods. Make sure it's the neighborhood that you want to be in for a long time, hopefully. The house may be wonderful, but if you're wanting to go, say, for instance, you want your child to be near their school, keep that in mind. If you're wanting to be near an entertainment area, keep that in mind. Be aware of the neighborhood, study it, make sure it's where you want to be. I had a client one time that swore they wanted to be in area A and ended up buying a house way across town. That's the area that they ended up getting because they fell in love with it. So keep your options open, but do your homework. Talk to your agent again. They should be a wealth of information for you. And if they're not, maybe you need to shop around for that as well. Okay, home inspections. That's another expense. It can, depending on the size of your house, can go from 400 up. And depending on which inspections you want, you need to start with a mechanical structural inspection. I also suggest a pest inspection. Now, if you're in a condominium complex, that may be different, or a high rise, but definitely mechanical structural inspection. You go, I don't want to spend $500 on this. I'll just fix whatever comes up. Oh my goodness, that fix that comes up may be a lot more than $500. And you need to find it now so you can negotiate a repair or negotiate compensation. I mean, there are things hidden in the walls that you'll never see when you're walking through that an inspector may find. He can do a moisture test, a heat test. They check foundation. They check appliances. They check the roof. They check And they check a lot of stuff. Please make sure you get an inspection. It is worth every single penny because you don't want to be stuck with a huge bill later that may not have had to come out of your pocket at all. It's very important that you do this, regardless of what you're buying. You're buying new construction. Okay, this is my pet peeve. Let's talk about this. If you're buying new construction, you think, "Ah, it's a new house. Why do I need to do anything? I don't want to spend money on an inspection. It's brand new. What could be wrong?" Well, let me tell you. First of all, it was built by humans. Do humans ever make mistakes? Do humans ever take shortcuts? Do they ever do something they shouldn't when no one's watching? And I'm not saying that your builder is going to be dishonest, but things happen. Inspectors come out and they are in a very busy day and they go, okay, yeah, you pass that. Keep moving, keep building. Trust me, it is worth every single penny to get a new home inspected. I had a client one time buying a new home. The home had been started, but it wasn't finished yet. So they got to put some of their touch onto it. And one thing that they wanted was on either side of the fireplace were windows. They didn't want windows, they wanted bookshelves. So the builder agreed to close that in and add the bookshelves. I convinced him to do an inspection. The inspector's going through with his thermal scan, and he noticed there was everything was fine until he got to either side of the fireplace, and there was a lot of heat coming through. Well, come to find out, yes, they closed up those windows, but they never insulated the area. So there was a lot of air loss, and you couldn't have that. So the builder had to tear out the bookshelves, insulate the wall, put the bookshelves back. Great, we got it done. Can you imagine what would have happened if they had noticed that a year from now? That never would have been corrected. So please, on new construction, if you're building from the ground up, get what's called a phase inspection, where the inspector comes in and monitors each phase of the construction and makes sure it's being done right. Is the foundation being poured right? Are the two by fours correctly? Is the wiring and the plumbing in correctly? This is so worth every single penny. I cannot emphasize that enough. So please, please remember your home's being built by humans and things happen. Get it inspected. Okay, another item I wanted to talk to you about overstanding, overextending yourself financially. Yes, you've gone to the lender, you've gotten your pre-certification, you've gotten your pre-approval. He says you can afford $2,000 a month in mortgage. Now that I know that nowadays that doesn't seem like a lot, but $2,000 in mortgage, you can borrow up to $400,000. Whatever he's telling you. My question is that how much you want to spend each month? Is that how much you are comfortable with each month? Do you want to be house poor, or do you want to have money left over to do improvements, to do vacations, to buy a new car? Whatever they're telling you you can afford and you feel comfortable with that, that is fantastic. But if you don't feel comfortable with that number, don't be pushed into getting it a house that you can't be comfortable with. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I know when I've bought houses, I go, oh, yes, you can buy this a much and it'll be this much per month. And it's like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. Let me buy what I'm comfortable with. But it's good to know I could buy it if I wanted to, and I'm approved for it. Another thing is, oh, once you go under contract, do not buy anything. Once you get your pre-certification or pre-approval, do not buy anything outside of your normal living things, food, clothing, gas, etc. Do not go out and buy that refrigerator you've always wanted. Do not go out and buy a new car. And please, please, please do not change jobs during that process. I don't care what you do after you close, but do not change jobs during that process. Do not make big purchases. You got to have a bed, you've got to have furniture, you've got to have a refrigerator. I understand all of that. You can buy it the day after you close. Trust me, you do not want to do this. That will set up a flag to the lender. Oh, and do not open a credit card. Do not cancel a credit card during that time. That affects your credit rating. Buying things affects your credit rating. And if you pay cash, it affects the cash you have to close. So just hang on. You can get all of that stuff after you close. It'll be fine. Get a blow up mattress, sleep on it until your bed arrives, but don't buy any big purchases. Okay, I also want to talk about not understanding market conditions. Please realize that a few years ago, we had a feeding frenzy in the housing market. The loan amounts, the loan percentages were down, the loan interest rates were down, and people were just scrambling to get homes, and there weren't a lot on the market. So what ended up happening is supply and demand. The fewer things that are available, the higher the demand, the price goes up. So if you bought at the top of the market and you have a 3% mortgage rate, fine. Please hang on to your house for a while, because when you go to buy another house, you may not be able to get as much for your house as you paid for it. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. So don't think you're going to buy a house and change out 2 years later. You may or may not be on the upside of that. Again, talk to your realtor, talk to your financial institution, and find out where you're at in the market. It's very important to know that. Now, if you got just a really good deal when you bought your house and the market's gone up, sell, sell, sell. You're going to make a profit. And remember, keep that in mind. And remember to follow the lead of your lender and your realtor. When they tell you it's time to get paperwork in, get paperwork in. When they tell you you've got to order an appraisal, get that done. Although that's usually done by the lender, but you get permission. When they say it's time to do a walkthrough, make sure you do a walkthrough. Don't skip that part of your closing either. Within 3 days, I recommend the day before doing a walkthrough. Make sure nothing's changed on the house. A tree didn't fall through in the middle of the night. The hot water heater didn't break. They didn't take the refrigerator when they were supposed to leave it, etc. Be sure to do that as well. Rely on your realtor, rely on your lender. Make sure none of the big dates are missed. If you're buying a home and the realtor says you've got to get that option period and earnest money in today, you better get it in today. And if there's a problem with that, contact your realtor. Now, I know I've talked about a lot of things, but those are things that a buyer really needs to be aware of and beware. So don't take shortcuts. Listen to the people around you, the experts, and make sure you do all of your due diligence. I want you to be very happy with that home. I want you to love it. I want you to be able to stay there for a long time. And I don't want you to have to put a lot of money in it after you buy it. So again, do your due diligence, follow your leaders, and I think it'll be great. So if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. If you like this episode, I'd love to hear from you. Again, The Real in Real Estate. We're going to keep it real for you. Enjoy. Thank you for tuning in to the Real in Real Estate podcast. I hope today's insights have inspired and empowered you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the podcast with anyone who might benefit. Have questions or a topic you'd like us to explore? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and keep moving towards success.